Yes, the rumors are true. I, Liss, am building a cyberpunk-themed Animal Crossing island. I know. You must be so shocked to hear that, since I've only talked about it about 200 times. I'm gonna go through just a little, like the tiniest snippet, 1 minute or less of what Cyberpunk Island is, and then we're gonna get into my first build on the island. Are you freaking so stoked? I know I am. But in all honesty, I have felt a little bit of Animal Crossing burnout lately, so I am really looking forward to just kind of getting over it. But without further ado, let's get started. Cyberpunk Island is set in the future. It's very cyber, it's very punk. It's gonna be based off of cyberpunk works like Blade Runner, Ready Player One, but also more like post-apocalyptic, kind of sci-fi-y, like Fallout, you know, etc, I can't think. There's basically gonna be a rebellion that is happening, and it is up to you, yes you, the player, to decide whose side you will take in the rebellion. Are you bourgeoisie or are you uprising? Pick one. Each of the villagers is kind of separated into a class system. So there's the lower city and the upper city. Obviously, upper city bad guys, lower city good guys. They each have their own role and special area catered to the type of villager that they are or their aesthetic. And the player is going to go around and figure out the quest. The goal is to have multiple storylines, but we will see. It might just be 2. And that was Cyberpunk Island in 1 minute or less. So let's get into the build, shall we? Alright, I'm taking these puppies off because they make a little too much noise for me. So let's talk a little bit about what I'm building. When you first arrive on the island, you are greeted by resident services. Obviously not the coolest thing to have on a cyberpunk island, but it's, you know, it's totally manageable. Like, I think that if we could customize it, like, yeah, that would be so rad, but unfortunately cannot do that. Therefore, we're just gonna be building around it. One of the main goals, I think, of Cyberpunk Island is less lag. I'm not gonna lie, I am all for lag islands, you know? It's kind of like your badge of honor. If your island lags and is so shitty to walk around, you're kind of like the cool kid in town. However, I went to one recently, an island that I really admire from a creator that I have been loving on Instagram. Not even gonna say their name because I think that's rude as hell, but went to their island. And I had the most miserable time trying to walk around there. I just thought it was just too much, you know? And it's really cool to look at and it's really cool in pictures, but for practicality, like especially since I'm gonna be trying to add like story elements to the island, it's just not gonna work for me. So we're building out this little area next to resident services. I'm trying my best, of course, to keep in mind the lag thing, but with this first build, you'll kind of see that I don't really do that great of a job with that. It's gonna be just a little shop, and next to that is gonna be Lobo's house. Now, Lobo is kind of like the head of the rebellion, so I want him to be one of the first things that you do when you get to the island, so that's gonna be like around the perimeter, I'm gonna put a fence, and the only way through is straight to Lobo's house. That's just kind of the tea on that. Sister. But therefore, Lobo's house is ideally one of the first things that we build today. So I'm building this little structure, and I took a lot of inspiration from another creator that I found online. This is kind of like not a city or cyberpunk island, but I really like the vibe of this creator, so I went to their island, took a bunch of inspiration footage from them, and make sure you follow them on Instagram, please. Like, they are awesome. They post like the coolest stuff. Anyways, saw this building and I thought, wow, okay, that's my first building that I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to mimic this, but like obviously in a totally different style. See, you know, you can take inspiration from people as long as you give them proper credit. Like, come on. Nobody's got an original thought in their freaking lives. Anyways, yeah, so I am working on this building, kind of back and forth on the whole thing. My biggest crux with creating an Animal Crossing is that I have kind of a hard time forming a cohesive thought. How about that? I can't think straight. Never have items planned out that I'm gonna need. And especially since this was my first build, I kind of cut myself some slack. I was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. Never really tried anything like this before. Let's just roll with it and record. And God, I spent 4 hours building this today. But it worked out pretty good. I'm kind of stoked about it. You'll see at the end that it kind of all comes together. Even though I'm like back and forth all day, you should thank me, but I cut out all 200 times that I ran back to my house to customize and grab items and all that stuff. I just left in the good things, you know? That good. I got a bunch of awesome custom designs as well online. Feel free to check the description if you're interested in any of the custom designs that I used. Thank you to all the creators that make them, by the way. I, for one, have tried. I have tried to build my own road. Cannot do it. It turned out okay, but it's like not what anybody wants, you know? I'm like, I've never seen anybody use my road, to be quite honest. And I'm not even that butthurt because it's not that good. A huge thing that I want to say is that I only found social medias for a couple of the people because sometimes I just find them on Pinterest and they've got no photo credits, and you know, everybody's trading all this information online and nobody's willing to just drop the link to the socials of the person that made it. So if you're one of the people that made these designs, please feel free to yell at me in the comments, hit me up in the DMs. Call me. Don't actually call me. I would be more than happy to include your socials in the descriptions, and of course descriptions in the future, because these designs are so amazing and I am so thrilled to be using them. Let's see, what's new? What is going on in Animal Crossing world? Well, I believe last night, the Mario furniture got released, which is awesome. I'm actually really excited about the Mario furniture. I think it's gonna look really cool. From what I've seen so far, I was watching Richard Original stream with all the new Mario furniture, and man, I think it blew all of our expectations out of the water, to be quite honest. All of the Mario themed items that we just got are incredible. My favorites are like the floating blocks. I totally 100% did not expect that at all. Did anybody think that that was a possibility? I don't even think Mayor Mori could have called it. And of course, like, I love the little outfits that we got. I love the warp pipe. I'm already having so many like brain blast ideas on how I'm gonna use this freaking warp pipe all over my island. Oh, it's gonna be, just you wait. Hold on to your horsies. But yeah, I'm really stoked about all of the Mario stuff. It's definitely something that I don't think any of us expected. And Sanrio. Okay, so the Sanrio info just dropped today. I don't even know what to say about the Sanrio stuff. I really expected them to release the amiibos, the reprint of the amiibos, and just give us the furniture, which is great. You know, that's totally fine. But like, the bar was so low. We got so much good Sanrio furniture coming. If you have not watched these kind of like videos where people are going over all the stuff that's in the trailer, do it, because it is seriously so freaking cool how much stuff we're getting. And then on top of that, we're gonna get the actual villagers, which, yeah, we were all thinking like, oh, like, I don't know, you know, if we're gonna get the Sanrio villagers, I don't think Nintendo's going to grace us with that much. But it's like, dude, that's their whole shtick. Why wouldn't they? Why did our expectations go so low? I'm just curious. Like, I don't know. Have we been wronged that much? Is that just me being pessimistic? I'm really excited about the Sanrio stuff. The only thing I'm like somewhat upset about is that I'm starting a Cyberpunk island and Sanrio stuff gets released. The beautiful pastel, adorable, super cute Sanrio stuff. How am I supposed to put that on Cyberpunk Island? That's the only thing that I'm like kind of crushed about. This also happened with the kids tent when that got released. It was probably the month, I think it was the month that I tore down an abandoned theme park. And there was a colorway of that kids tent that was like a circus tent. Okay, what did I do to deserve this? Nintendo, if you're watching, please plan those releases around me better. Yeah, I hope you guys are really looking forward to this stuff. I think for a long time, I think a lot of us were really pessimistic about the game and about the things that were being released. I don't think it's really that fair anymore. I think that the criticism is kind of unfounded. Like, yeah, of course, like we want to get like our $60 worth of the game. That's totally fine. There's a bunch of stuff missing from the game, but overall, I think I'm still having fun. For a minute there, hey, I'm not even gonna lie, I am just coming out from a burnout. And so I think that's a little bit of the reason why I was a little more negative in the beginning. But now I'm feeling a lot more optimistic about the game because I'm so excited to build a new island and to start fresh and have like this whole fun story element to the island. That's something that I think is changing my outlook just a little bit, just a tiny little bit. I'm really curious to see what we're gonna get for the 1-year anniversary. Isn't that next month? When did the pandemic start? God, I don't even know. I'm really excited about all of that stuff. All right, let's talk a little bit about the backstory of the island. So, if you didn't listen to my little synopsis at the beginning, 1 minute or less, go do that. It's very important. I still need a custom design. I have 1 slot left. I need a custom design that's like a quest marker, and I'm trying to build like I guess like a visual novel kind of. It's gonna be pretty elementary unless I really feel like I need to pay for art to make it badass, but I need like a little quest marker, and it's gonna like correlate to a drawing of a map, you know? And as you kind of like go and find all these quest markers, you have to basically interact with this map, and it's gonna kind of like walk you through the quest stuff, because that's the only thing that I find mildly irritating about story islands is that there's a lot of Google docking that needs to be done. So if there's any way to sort of like streamline that process and make it more accessible for people, I really want to do that. I've never really written a story before. That's kind of something that I need to figure out, because I mean, don't check my Wattpad history, but since I love to read, I can write. That's like the worst mindset ever, but I can probably figure it out. Dude, if anyone can figure it out, it might be me. Maybe. So far, I think I have a pretty good premise. I have a pretty good understanding of like cyberpunk as a genre of books, movie, television, video games, all that stuff. So I think I could figure it out. We'll see. We will see. I feel like wearing sunglasses makes me into a different person. I'm feeling pretty Neo right now. I've got my little Dutch Bros. It kind of looks like Pete. It kind of looks like Pete, but I swear it was a Rebel, which is their version of Red Bull. And it had flavors in it, and I think it was called something. It was called Galaxy Fish. I thought that was a really interesting name. Pretty good stuff. I don't know. It's kind of watered down now, so it kind of just tastes like Red Bull. I got it half sweet because I'm pretty terrified of things being too sweet, and I don't like to waste my money. If it's too sweet, like I can't drink it, and therefore my time, my money wasted. So I try to just go half sweet on everything. A lot of this build was kind of like back and forth on everything. I decided to build like that big overpass. I thought it was cool. I didn't really have the custom designs to make it exactly my vision, but I kind of made it work. You know, that's just what we do around here. I'm really, really stoked with how the building turned out, and I am really, really stoked with how that overpass looks. A lot of the road building stuff is kind of boring, so I'll probably take those clips out of future videos just because like it's pretty repetitive. I figured out that if I want to make like a 3-tile road, it's 7 tiles wide, or yeah, it's not like the most enthralling part of the build, so I'll probably end up taking it out in later videos. But for right now, I thought it was kind of cool to just kind of like see the process, see how I build them with these amazing paths. Dude, I love the sidewalks. So all of these 3 things are from different creators. The asphalt, the sidewalk, and then like that regular brick. They're all from different creators. And I just want to really shout out this asphalt road path design. It's in the shape of a path. Who would have thought to do that? Not I, not I. It allows you to just kind of create whatever you want. Like, it looks so cool, and it's just so interesting to me that it's in the shape of a path. It blows my mind to this day. I mean, I've only had it for a couple days, but to this day, I'm still thinking about how great of an idea that is, because you can create cracks and all these sorts of things inside of it. It's so freaking cool. So really stoked about that. One thing I am not super stoked about is in the future, I'm gonna have to create a path. If you've seen the pink path while we've been doing this, that's just a placeholder. But I'm gonna have to create my own version of the path that has kind of like a blast zone. So that's gonna be kind of hard. But I want to create like these little craters using like the path outline, you know? I've made my own path before. I did the ice skating rink, but that was kind of like pretty elementary compared to some of the other paths. So I'm trying to take it up like to the next level. And I want to make like a big crater path so that you can just like lay that down and have like a bunch of little craters. And I want to have like a little fallout zone up at the top left of the island. That's where Rasher's gonna be. He's gonna live by like the nuclear fallout zone, and it's gonna be all these little craters. Instead of doing like one big crater, like I don't think I can really make that work with a version of the path like that. It sounds so hard. So I'd like to have like a bunch of little cracks, you know? I think that it could work out pretty well. I'm really looking forward to making that. I'll probably do that next episode, or maybe the one after. It kind of just depends. I feel like you can't make a custom design unless you have that creative spark, you know? It has to come to you. You cannot beckon it. It has to arrive uninvited, and then you spend the next 6 hours designing a custom designed path. That's just how it works, honestly. If you have any questions on Cyberpunk Island, leave them down below. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have. I didn't want to go through like and make a whole video that was dedicated to the story of the island that I'm about to create because I kind of thought that would be a little boring. So I'm kind of just throwing you guys in to the mix here. If you have any questions on how any of it's going to work, if you are have any ideas, I would love to hear your ideas because I just think it's cool to spitball and, you know, talk about that kind of stuff. And of course, in the Discord, we're talking about Story Island in the Discord too. And I ask a lot of questions and ask for help a lot. So would really appreciate if you guys joined our little community. You'd probably have a good time. And of course, if you're interested in keeping up with this island on my Instagram, my Twitter, I'm also going to be streaming it on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe. Hey, just saying. And then on Twitch, I might be doing some things here and there on Twitch relating to Animal Crossing. A lot of it is Stardew Valley, so if you're interested in Stardew Valley, I mean, hey, that is where I'm doing the do. I definitely look forward to seeing you guys all up in there in any of the spaces that you wish to take them. But this is my final walkthrough. I left a lot of it undone and just kind of open-ended because I feel like a lot of the final touch decorating happens once most of your island is complete. I think it's kind of hard to imagine the whole vision until it's happening, you know? Right now, this is just a fractional of the vision. So this is kind of what it looks like. I'm really, really proud of it. I love how it looks. Again, I've kind of got to go through and probably purge some objects just because we're trying to avoid the lag, but I think I'm doing a decent job of avoiding it for now. I'm still going like a little overboard, but we'll get there. We've got Lobo's house just chilling. I'm not really super happy with the behind of Lobo's house, so I actually fixed that during members stream 2 days ago. And then of course we've got one of the main roads that kind of goes through, it kind of correlates with our map picture. And then our little overpass, that was just spur of the moment. It just happened like that. We just made it work. I had the idea, I had the spark, and I was like, damn, we gotta do that. And it's gonna be like one of our main viewpoints of the island, so hopefully we'll be able to build a really, really cool looking perspective. We will see. But thank you guys for joining us today. Appreciate you. Again, my socials are down below. Check me out on there. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video. I would really appreciate some support on this new series that we're doing on Cyberpunk Island. Let me know what you think. And of course, special thank you to our channel members. You guys are amazing. And I will see you guys in the next one.